In lecture 24, mainly we'll discuss the inverse is a transform method, and which is mainly known as the partial fraction method. Okay, we'll see one problem here. You can see that the x of z given by z minus 1 into z minus 2 the whole square into, and the ROC of this particular signal is modulus of z greater than 2. If you compare with the previous questions in lecture 23 and 21, the power of this denominator factor is 1. Now we can see that the power is 2. Okay, we will see how we can solve such questions. First we will write the partial fraction form. So in order to write the partial fraction form, we will choose x of z by z form, means the z in the numerator will move to the left side. Okay, now we can write the equation becomes 1 divided by z minus 1 into z minus 2 the whole square. Okay, this equation I can rearrange in the partial fraction form, a by z minus 1 plus b by z minus 2 plus c by z minus 2 the whole square. Okay, when there is a square term, okay, z minus 2 the whole square, we need to split into two terms, one with power z minus 2 raised to 1 and another with z minus 2 the whole square. If the power is 3, we will write three terms, one with power 1, another with 2 and 3. Okay, similarly if it is a power is 4, we will write one term with power 1, other term with power 2 and power 3 and power 4. Okay, likewise. And now we can take the LCM, because we need to equate these two equations. So if you rearrange this equation, or if you take the LCM, it becomes z minus 1 into z minus 2 the whole square. So we can write a into z minus 2 the whole square plus b into z minus 1 into z minus 2 plus c into z minus 1. Okay, and the denominator you can see that as a z minus 1 into z minus 2 the whole square. Okay, and if you compare the equation, you can see that denominators are same in these two equations, so I can equate the numerator part. Okay, now I will equate the numerator part, and 1 is equal to a z minus 2 the whole square plus b into z minus 1 into z minus 2 plus c into z minus 1. Okay, and now assume that we need to find the constant. So if I substitute z is equal to 1, the terms z minus 1 becomes 0, and here also 0. So remaining term, if you substitute z here, okay, z is equal to 1 here, you will get a is equal to 1. And if you substitute z is equal to 2 as root, you can see that the terms is at minus 2 and z minus 2 whole square becomes 0. So you will get c is equal to 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. So you will get c is equal to 1. And now I can substitute z is equal to 0. Okay, another case. So if you substitute z is equal to 0 in this particular equation, this becomes 1 is equal to 4a, okay, minus plus 2b minus c. Okay, minus c is equal to, okay, minus c, and we can substitute these values. Okay, and after simplification you will get b is equal to, okay, b is unknown, b you will get minus 1. Okay, so we got all the constants. Now we can substitute in this equation. So you can write x of z by z is equal to 1 by z minus 1 plus minus 1 divided by z minus 2 plus 1 by z minus 2 the whole square. Okay, again if you rearrange this, you will get x of z is equal to, I'll just multiply with this z, okay, to the right side. So this equation becomes z is common, so you need to write z by z minus 1 plus minus z by z minus 2 plus z by z minus 2 the whole square. Okay, now we'll find the inverse. Okay, now we got three factors. Okay, we got the three factors. Now we need to analyze the ROC also. Okay, here modulus of z is greater than 2 means if you check the poles, the first factor is z minus 1, so there will be a pole at 1 and another pole at 2. Okay, so there will be multiple poles at 2, so we got 2 poles, and the ROC is indicated as modulus of z greater than 2. So this is 2 and the shaded region is indicating the ROC. Okay, and you can see that this pole 1 and 2 represents the causal. Okay, it's a causal poles, because the ROC is exterior of the two poles. Okay, if the ROC is exterior of the circle, then the poles representing the causal signal. So we need to write the causal for this. Again, this is also causal and this is also causal. Causal means we need to write z by z minus a in the form of a raised to n into u of n. Okay, so we can write like this. So z by z minus 1 I can write in this form. So here a is equal to 1, so we can write simply u of n. Okay, and another term is minus z by z minus 2. Okay, if it is simply z by z minus 2, here a is equal to 2, so we can write 2 raised to n into u of n, and but there is a minus, so we will put a minus here. And the next term is z by z minus 2 the whole square. Okay, is not in the form of z by z minus a, but is in the form of a z by z minus 2 z minus a the whole square. So the denominator there is a square term, so we can compare with this signal. Means if there is a 2, I can write like this. It becomes n into a raised to n into u of n form. Here a is equal to in this case a is equal to 2, so I can write 2 raised to n into, but in the expression there is no 2, so we'll divide this equation by 1 by 2, so it becomes 1 by 2, which is equal to n into 2 raised to n minus 1 into u of n. Okay, so based on this particular equation we can write the inverse. So the final result x of n can be written as u of n minus 2 raised to n into u of n plus n into 2 raised to n minus 1 into u of n. Okay, so this is the final result. And next question. You can see that again we need to perform the partial fraction, and we need to find the inverse as a transform. If you look at this particular question, there is a slight difference. The numerator power, okay, if you look at the numerator power, it is z cube, and the denominator it is z square. So if you rearrange this particular equation, it becomes x of z is equal to 2z cube minus 5z square plus z plus 3. Okay, and the denominator becomes z square minus 3z plus 2. Okay, in order to perform partial fraction, here the numerator power is z cube and here z square. In order to perform partial fraction, remember that always the numerator power should be less than the denominator power. Okay, then only we can perform the partial fraction. So first we need to perform a long division in this particular case. If the power is numerator power is more than denominator power, so I can perform the division. So here I can write 2z cube minus 5z square plus z plus 3. Okay, you can perform the division here. So here it is z square minus 3z plus 2. Okay, if you take the first term as 2z cube, here it is z square, so I can write 2z cube divided by z square, so it becomes 2z. So I'll write 2z here and I will multiply this factor, so we will get 2z cube minus minus 6z square plus 4z. Okay, now we need to subtract this. So if you subtract, this becomes 0, the first term 0, and second term is z square, and second term is minus 3z plus 3. Okay, now the highest factor is z square, and here it is z square. Okay, so we will divide it again, z square by z square, so which is equal to 1, means the next term is 1. Now we need to multiply this 1, so is again the same term, z square minus 3z plus 2. Okay, now if you subtract, you will get is equal to 1, so 1 is the remainder. Okay, so I can rearrange this x of z. Okay, x of z in a new form. Okay, x of z in a new form, which is known as 2z plus 1. Okay, and remainder here it is 1, so I can write plus 1 divided by z square minus 3z plus 2. Okay, so now we will get two terms, 2z plus 1 and another term. Okay, now we will perform the partial fraction of the second term. Okay, let be signal x1 of z. So we got two signal, and this is the first signal and this is the second signal, and the second signal, if you factorize, it will be like this. So this is your x1 of z. Now we need to perform the partial fraction of x1 of z. So if you take x1 of z, it becomes 1 divided by z minus 1 into z minus 2. Again there is a problem. So in order to perform the partial fraction, we will write x1 of, this is actually x of z, we need x1 of z by z, but there is no z term here too, so I will multiply z here and the denominator also, and now I can move this z to the left side. So and after rearranging, you will get x1 of z by z is equal to 1 by z minus 1 into z minus 2. Okay, and now I can perform the partial fraction. So it becomes a by z plus b by z minus 1 plus c by z minus 2. Okay, and if we take the LCM, it becomes a into z minus 2 into z minus 1 plus b into z into z minus 2 plus c into z minus 1 into z. Okay, and the denominator will be z by z into z minus 1 into z minus 2. Now I can compare the numerator parts. So here the numerator is 1, here the numerator is the term. So if you compare the term, and you can write, and if you substitute, 1 is equal to a into z minus 2 into z minus 1 plus b into z into z minus 2 plus c into z minus 1 into z. Okay, now I can substitute z is equal to 1. Okay, if you substitute z is equal to 1, this term and this term becomes 0, so you can write b is equal to minus 1. Okay, now I can substitute z is equal to 2. If z is equal to this term and this term becomes 0, so remaining you can write c is equal to 1 by 2. And last, if you substitute z is equal to 0, you will get a becomes 1 by 2. Okay, this equation. So we got a, b and c. Now we can substitute here. So x1 of z by z is equal to a is equal to 1 by 2, so we can write 1 by 2 into one by z. Okay, b is minus 1, so minus 1 by z minus 1 plus next term c is again 1 by 2, so 1 by 2 into 1 by z minus 2. Okay, so we got 3 terms. Okay, now we need to multiply this z to the right side. Okay, so if you multiply z to the right side, you will get x1 of z like this. So 1 by 2 minus z by z minus 1 plus 1 by 2 z by z minus 2. Okay, you can see that this part, okay, this is x of z. Initially we discussed x of z, and the second part is we indicated as x1 of z. Now we got another representation for this x1 of z. Okay, now I need to replace this portion by x1 of z, and if you substitute x1 of z here you can say 2z will be there, and 1 and 1 by 2, we need to add 1 and 1 by 2, so you will get 3 by 2. Okay, 2z 3 by 2, and remaining terms minus z by z minus 1, 1 by 2 z by z. So you can see all the terms. So finally there will be 4 terms, and the ROC of the question is given modulus of z less than 1, means we need to verify the poles now. So here is one pole at 2, okay, one pole at 2 and one pole at 1. So from this you can see that ROC is modulus of z less than 1, means this is the ROC, the shaded portion. So poles are or ROC is interior to the poles, so this represent an anti-causal signal. Okay, the ROC of anti-causal. So 1 represent anti-causal and 2 is also representing anti-causal, because the ROC is lies interior to the pole. Okay, now I need to rewrite the equation. So I can write x of n here. So here it is 2z. Okay, we know that from this particular equation, del of n minus m, the transform from del of n minus m is z raised to minus m. So here we are getting z raised to 1. Okay, so here it will be del of n plus 1. Okay, so instead of this you can write 2 del of n plus 1, and after that you can see there is a constant value 3 by 2 into 1. So for 1 the signal is del of n, so the inverse is del of n, and there is a minus, and here z by z minus 1, so this represent actually an anti-causal signal from the ROC. Okay, we got from the ROC it's an anti-causal signal. If it is an anti-causal signal, we need to write the inverse in this particular form. So we need to write a minus again, so it becomes plus, and in place of a it is 1, so u of minus n minus 1. Okay, is u of minus n minus 1, and next term is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 and z by z minus 2. Again we need to write in anti-causal form, so in this form you need to write, so it becomes minus, so we need to write a minus here, minus 2 raised to n into u of minus n minus 1. Okay, so this is the signal. Okay, and I'll give you one practice question. Again we need to find the inverse Z transform here. Here x of z is given 3 by z minus 2. Okay, and the ROC of the signal is modulus of z greater than 2, and the solution of the problem we will discuss in the next lecture.